is my streaming fucking shits? There we go. I think we are live now. I'm going to pop out chat. This is going to be the final stream of the game here. Let's do this. Let's grab my chat. Oakley dokley. So good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the stream here playing Shadowrun Chronicles Boston Lockdown. Oh, you want to know something? I'm missing something. Bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum. Gotta put my limited run hat on because we are doing a limited run here. Gotta have my streaming cap. Okay, so anyways, welcome back to the stream. Good evening, everyone. Let's start it up. I'm in a party here doing some of the infected missions with some of the other folks that are in the game right now. This is the final stream before the server goes down tomorrow. Haven't heard any word yet about whether or not the fate of the game is going to live on in private servers or not. Still waiting to hear back from everybody, from the developers. They said that they were kind of in talks with everybody, but haven't really threshed it all out yet. All right. So people are asking me about where they can go watch my stream. Okay, well, let's give them a link. That's a very good question. Let's see if I can't get a direct link to it. There we go. Okay. So it's going to be a little weird live streaming my own shit here. Okay, so there we go. We got everything completely copied and pasted. So let me get back into game here. All right. Anyways, so let's continue. We're doing a couple more of the ladder infected missions here, which I have no problem helping some other people. Because Lord knows that I had some help myself. As far as how long tonight's stream is going to be, I am kind of completely undecided. I'm going to try to get as much in as possible, since the servers are supposed to go kaput tomorrow. And I get the feeling that the servers are probably based somewhere in the UK. So I'm guessing when we say tomorrow, as in like the 30th, I don't know if it's the stroke of midnight UK time, or if it's just the stroke of midnight sometime in American time, or some kind of European time. I have no idea. It could be very well that this game might be running off of British time. In that case, you know, we probably, I would imagine, because they're ahead, that the servers would probably shut down earlier. But then it might not be the case here. It's going to double barrel in. All right, knock that guy out. So some of these other people that I'm playing with right now are, I think I've played with Sean Sledge before in the past. I'm pretty sure if he wasn't a part of one of the missions that we did when I first started live streaming this in the end game, or it might have been somebody that just randomly sent me a friend request. I think maybe when I was just like in the middle of the campaign. I don't know. I remember playing with a guy. The other two people I have not yet played with, so it's kind of a new experience. The reason why I did not end up streaming this morning as part of the normal schedule is simply because I logged into the game and there was nobody on. And I figured, you know what? I think it would be more appropriate to stream this evening like I am now. Because I always got the impression, I mean, like, I remember what the server load was like back in like 2015, and most people that played the game were usually on, I'd say in American time anyways, in the evenings. So I figured, what the hell? You know, this is the last night that this game is going to be publicly available on Steam. So I feel like it was more appropriate to do it this evening than this morning. And that's why we're doing it now. Kind of a little sporadic, I understand. A little unplanned. But definitely for everybody's benefit. I don't believe there were any other enemies up here. I remember we had to get Alex. This is that one mission that had the little center council thingy. Yeah, we just finished that up like a couple of days ago. Still pretty fresh in the mind. So let's see here. We've got... You are... Assault rifles. I know we got a couple of Deckers over here. Sean Sledge. Looks like... You know what? It's funny because we actually got a jazz from that the last time too. Maybe it's like scripted to always give us a jazz. Strange. Don't really need to be scrolling through the rest of this conversation because we've already pretty much recorded it. So as far as like some of the other dialogue options and stuff in these missions go, I'm going to kind of like try to scroll past it as quick as I can. With the exception of maybe like the little data cubes, because I'm not really entirely convinced that I may have collected them all. Might have been like one or two that I missed. And while we wait for the rest of my team to go, I'm actually going to be AFK for a second here. I'm going to go grab a lovely beverage. Oops. One thing I don't like about this headset is it's got that button right there, right next to like the left can. It's like the first place that my fingers go every time I pick the damn thing up. And unfortunately for the stream and for my for some of my videos, times that I accidentally ended up hitting it. That's why we get that very obtrusive mic on, mic off. Take a nice little sip of my Narragansett piss brew. I've had these visions in my mind about one day becoming a connoisseur of cheap piss beer. And really just understanding the complexities involved in between the many different brands out there. But as time goes on and the more quantities of the shit that I end up drinking, the more I become convinced that there are really no differences, that the differences, if they exist, are pretty minuscule. I think we've got like a beer conspiracy where all of the companies, all the big beer companies out there got together one day and just said, you know what, probably sometime around World War II, no doubt, when everybody started cutting corners to make shittier beer. And now all beer tastes like that, except for expensive craft artisanal brewery type of stuff. Now see that we got the 50% coin flip there for the double barrel. Always want to make sure we knock out these summoners first. Don't know if these people are aware of the little secret door over here, the sliding door. I guess if I had control over Alex, I'd probably be moving him over there first. And as far as the rest of the team here goes, I think I would rather have it be that... Oh, god damn it, I hate this bug. There's a stupid bug here where it just, every once in a while, it'll go... Somebody will do their action, and then when it goes to the next person in line, it ends up like putting the camera like way in the corner where there's absolutely nothing. And sometimes it's kind of hard to find your way back to where the action's at, especially if you've already moved your character. Because if your character has another action, you could just click on the portrait and automatically snap to the character in question. But if you've already moved all of your characters, then you're kind of stuck. Shotgun is kind of starting to piss me off because it's not the shotgun that auto reloads. And the reason why I decided not to go for that type of shotgun is because like I said before many times in the past, just really trying to go for raw damage. I'm hoping after this infected mission, or maybe the next one, it'll probably be the next one, because we're not actually turning in the quest, which means that we'll only get 6 karma. And if we're doing 2 infected missions, 12 karma isn't going to be enough for me to acquire the last skill, I think, in body, which gives us another essence. Ergo, it'll allow me to equip a better cyber implant, namely the legs, so I can actually start to move more again. Because the last time we screwed around with these cyber implants, I put in the hefty-duty torso, which gave me all kinds of perks, bonuses to, like, I think, hit points and armor, but took away from all of our sprint speeds. And that's definitely been to the detriment of my character, because, I mean, I'm getting outclassed by everybody else just simply out of mobility issues. And it's not like my character is strictly like a tank build or something. So it's not like, you know, I'm just moving really slow and expected to take and absorb all the damage. It doesn't work like that. So what I'm hoping to do before the server shut down, would be nice, is to acquire enough karma points. Maybe that'll be our mission. That'll be our tonight's mission. It'll be our final mission, is to acquire enough karma points to max out, I think it's body, so I can get that last little bit of essence. And I can deck my character off with some new legs. All right, well, I'm gonna go in this direction anyways, towards the door here. I could have bull rushed somebody. So we got 30%, 85% chance to hit this guy. Sure. Yeah, of course we're just gonna waste his armor. To some degree, I guess, since we have so much decking support, like, it's almost kind of useless for me to do something other than, say, like a stun, like a bull rush, or just outright do a double barrel. Because these guys' tech armor is pretty low. And once that's gone, I mean, all the decking support that we have is going to do quite a bit of damage. And unfortunately, my shotgun only does so much. So unless I'm able to actually do, I guess, what would be considered trample damage in this game, you know, after all the damage is done after the physical armor has absorbed it, anything left over is obviously the remainder is dealt to hit points. Just not entirely convinced that my shotgun can actually do that much damage. I mean, outside of the double barrel or a critical. Yay. I'm gonna go the secret route. Oops. The way the team that helped me complete the rest of these missions, it was a pretty solid, sound plan, so I think I'm going to actually follow it, where we clear off the map first before doing the mission itself. I think that's probably the best course of action. So your time on deck is 18:17. I suppose I could probably stick with maybe another 2-hour stream like I've been doing for the past 2 weeks. We'll see. I'm kind of just like playing it by ear because I really don't know how much of the community is actually going to be active the night before. I find it to be incredibly disappointing that there aren't more people involved here, because you know, while I know that the entire community of Shadowrun Chronicles players aren't aware of the server shutting down, I feel like the people that are aware of it have no doubt spread the word. And I was always under the assumption that people would probably take that information and, you know, be besides themselves and want to like actually enjoy the game one last time before it goes away forever and ever. So we'll see how many people are left over in the end game once we're done with these infected missions. I'm not sure if like the party's going to stick around for the other infected mission or if we're just doing the one right now. No idea. And also, you have to keep in mind that the center hub where all the villages are at, I mean, your version of it is going to be different from my version of it depending on where you're at in the campaign. Like, for instance, if you're only like a third of the way through the main storyline, then obviously we're not going to see one another. So, like, there could be... I really don't want to make the faulty assumption and say there's not a lot of people playing in the game when there probably could be a lot of people playing the game. They're just in an earlier point in the campaign than I am, which is definitely possible. But when I logged in to the game before I started live streaming, there was like one person, and then a couple other people were on missions, and then they finished up their mission. So Endgame Hub actually had a little bit of activity. I'm hoping that changes once we're finished with this mission here. It's not so much that I'm like looking to, I don't know, like group up with specific individuals or do something specific. It's just, I don't know, man. If you've ever played an MMO or a really popular online game before, and you see the community, you see how many people are there, and then give that game a couple of years and watch that community kind of diminish and dissipate. And then once you actually log into it after a really long time and you look at, well, the diminished capacity of the population, it is a little disheartening. At least it is for me. It'd be really nice to see the community actually get back together and really support this game for like one last oorah before the servers go bye-bye. I know what'll end up happening. It'll be all done in retrospect, in hindsight. Most people be like, oh no, Shadowrun Chronicles, the servers went down, I should have played it. Yeah, no shit, dipshit. But there's all kinds of news about the game, and it's been word of mouth for like at least the past month. I mean, how long has it been since I produced that video of the Facebook update saying that they were closing the servers down? I mean, for Christ's sake, that had to have been at least a good 4 weeks ago now. And I know I've mentioned it several times throughout the course of my campaign and live streams. Although, granted, like I said, you know, my channel is still really small. So I'm pretty sure I've only reached a handful of people as far as like spreading the information. It's really strange. It seems like in the endgame we get a lot of sleep regulators in the, what was it, the decrypted data pads, or some kind of mind device. It's basically a sellable item that has the same icon, the same avatar picture as the sleep regulator, but it's called something else. I just seem to get a lot of them. There's just a huge abundance of these sort of things in the end game for some reason. Could be worse. We could be getting like DAC Wagon basic cards. It was definitely the case there for a while in our campaign. Like most of the party decided to follow me over into this little side room over here. It's fine. Don't have enough movement to actually make it to the door. But again, that's okay as well, because I think most of the other enemies that are up here are going to be like right around here. And then I think there's another group like over here, if memory serves correctly. I have also been giving it a lot of thought about like what I'm going to do next come tomorrow. So I'm going to tell you what, like I'm going to actually log into the game tomorrow and find out what's the deal and see if I can actually get access to it. And then if I do, then I'm just going to kind of take it from there. But if not, if the game's completely offline at that point, then that's it. And then that'll be the end. But if it's still up, I think I might end up doing a short live stream, or maybe just record it offline and have that be the kind of the epilogue, kind of postscript denouement type of thing. I think that would be the best course of action, assuming that, of course, that I actually have access to the game. Ooh, I got really bad position here. But as far as like what I'm going to do next, well, I'm going to take Friday tomorrow, assuming that the game's offline. I've got a few other things that I have on the docket for the last few weeks that I really want to accomplish. And then this weekend, you know what I'm going to do this weekend? I'm going to chill. I need some chill time. It's holiday season. There's been all kinds of activity because November's always been a busy month for me. There's been the stress of trying to get this game completely and utterly recorded before the game went away. And obviously I've had to abandon my other series temporarily, which I feel kind of like an ass for doing. So I think I'm just going to take it day by day and just try to get my other campaign Let's Play series accomplished and finished. Although some of them are pretty close to the beginning, like our Deus Ex Human Revolution. Like we're still pretty much at the beginning for all intents and purposes. So I don't think realistically I'm going to be able to finish that anytime relatively soon. The XCOM 1 playthrough, however, I think realistically, if I just went balls to the wall and did what I did with this game and just, I don't know, wake up at like the ass crack of dawn someday and just record videos all day, or at least for a good like 8-10 hours, I'm pretty sure I could pretty much knock out XCOM 1 within a couple of sittings, which is great. And then, of course, we got our live stream of Grim Dawn, which, since I'm completely live streaming it, I don't have a schedule yet. I'm not sure. I'm not sure when I'm going to go back to actually live streaming that. If I'm being completely and utterly honest, I'm actually, I think, more in favor of streaming more of our Guild Wars Eye of the North campaign. So one of the reasons why I did a bull rush there, I mean, not only for the stun, but it was also, it allowed me to move and do something to contribute at least a little bit. I mean, I have had a couple of successful double barrels this map thus far, so, I mean, there's at least some sort of small consolation. Not really entirely certain what the rest of my party is doing here, if they're, maybe they're just being really strategic. I'm just hoping that they don't attack the guy that I just stunned. Get rid of this guy, come on. I'm like standing here with my pants down. Besides, he's only got 10 tech armor. If we zoom in here and rotate the map, do we have decking equipment? Okay, this person here, Isella? Is that how you pronounce that name? Isella? Or Isella? Don't tell me it's Isella. Not sure about Mai Tai here. Speaking of Mai Tai, boy, that actually sounds pretty delicious right now. Or maybe like a Singapore sling. God, it's been ages since I've had one of those. You know, I'm totally in the mood for some of those like cheesy neon colored drinks with the little paper umbrella in them, served out of like a tiki cup. Yeah. I have like a weird hankering for one of those things right now. Or maybe not one, maybe many. Unfortunately, where I live at, there aren't very many establishments that are tiki themed. So it looks like I'm kind of shit out of luck with that. All right, well, I really need to start playing with a little bit more caution because I just lost all of my physical armor. Guess we'll do a savage strike here. I mean, it makes sense. We'll take the guy out. We'll absorb the hit points. Seems like the most tactically sound decision that I can make. This mission, from what I remember, was pretty straightforward. We just come up here and destroy the rest of the guys. We have somebody come over here with the council. And I think we just waited a couple turns. And then the next mission after that is basically we start over here and work our way back. And then we have this big open area over here that opens up all these doors, all these big, like, blast door looking things. All right, so somebody already grabbed the one, whatchamacallit, demolish point. So I think we'll probably move up this way. I'm trying to get as much max movement as I possibly can because this guy is so slow. I mean, he is an orc. Thematically, I guess if we were role-playing, it would make sense. I mean, isn't it supposed to be like the stereotypical racial traits of like orcs and trolls are supposed to be kind of big and heavy like that? Not exactly known for doing marathon runs and whatnot. I picked up the paintbrushes again recently. I've been working on some secret projects that's going to be beneficial to the prestige of my channel here on YouTube. I can't really speak too much more about it. I just want to tease it a little bit. People probably rolling their eyes, maybe just a little. Paintbrushes, you say? I will say that if you own Shadowrun Chronicles Boston Lockdown, when you go to log into the game, there's always that like little kind of news saying that there is some Boston Lockdown miniature set that you can buy. So the company that actually made them no longer sells them, but you can still buy them elsewhere. Brand new too. And I have been thinking about maybe picking a set up because I think it'd be kind of nice. It'd be one last little, I don't know, one last little way of supporting the game. But then again, I'd be buying it from a third-party seller and not an official one, so it wouldn't really go towards the developers. I've got mixed feelings. I kind of want to buy the little miniature set just so I can paint them. I've never really been big on painting miniatures, but you know, I have all of the tools that I need to do so right now, and I'm really tempted. It's only like $25. Holy shit. Okay, well, I'm gonna do a head cracker. And don't really have a lot of choice here. It's either I put them here or I put them there. I'm sorry, I guess I'm just a little frazzled right now. I promise I haven't been greedy with Blamco Mac here. I've just been moving very unstrategically. Keeping myself out in the open just to get that one really good shot. You know that, but I'm just so self-absorbed with the whole movement aspect. That's why I'm really just want to finish body so I can get that essence. Get better legs. Guessing that's probably a sentence that I won't use that very regularly. Hoping to get that one essence for a new set of legs. Very interesting that. I should go to a bar sometime and say that. Just have everybody look at me really weird. And I can go to the denizens of a dive bar and be like, fear not. I am just your friendly local gamer. Okay, so we got the summoner up here, and then we got the other guy that does the illusions. Generally speaking, these guys, for their first move, if you're in their line of sight, from what I've noticed is that they'll actually just go into cover and cast their summons or do his illusion. So as far as moving Blamco Mac right here, I know that they have a shot on this guy. I know they do. But it's most likely that they're going to end up bringing in their little henchmen instead of shooting me. And for some of you fine folks out there that are subscribed to my channel because I play a lot of strategy titles, like especially those from Paradox Interactive. Listen, I've been hoping and praying to the Paradoxian deities that they are for some of the features that they just implemented recently. And let me tell you something. I actually pre-ordered Holy Fury. And I have not yet played it. I've heard that there are some pretty nasty game-breaking bugs. So I've kind of refrained from playing a campaign just simply for that reason. I'm waiting for Paradox to actually release some hotfixes for it, for like an update patch. And to the best of my knowledge, they haven't done so yet. So that's the reason why I really haven't touched CK2, Crusader Kings 2, or actually started up a new campaign. But if I finish XCOM 1 in due time, or say Grim Dawn, more like probably XCOM 1, if I finish that game in time, I really want to start up a new campaign. And then I know I've had a couple people mention to me before that they'd really like to see me do an actual real official or Europa Universalis 4 campaign instead of doing the exported campaign holdover stuff from Crusader Kings 2 like we've done in the past. And yes, I do plan on doing one. I hear that Paradox is releasing some sort of new content pack coming in this December. So what I'll do is I'll probably wait until January or maybe February before I get serious about maybe starting up a campaign in EU4. Just to give you guys a heads up. So if I come over here to this window, right. One goddamn hit point. And he's still not dead because he had all that tech armor. I think we just got trolled. So I think that was all of the enemies we had to worry about. We have this organ harvesting node up here. I don't remember if there was anything up in this corner. I don't remember there being anything up in that corner. So if I have the movement, assuming that nobody else actually has organ harvesting, I'll go ahead and grab this node next. Yeah, there's nothing else over here. I think we can actually move back. So party members, if you guys are watching the stream right now, move Alex over here to interact with this thing. Because Alex is pretty much worthless in this mission. He's just kind of... In my experiences, when you use the people, like the villagers that are part of the missions and stuff, they're, with the exception of Buster, I just use them as kind of like my cleanup crew when I absolutely need them. I guess as for a number 2 out of all the people that you get, all the NPCs that you actually do get to control, in my mind, I think number 2 would probably have to be the cop, Sarah, just simply because she has the stun grenade. And even though she just has that weak-ass pistol, that stun grenade goes a long way sometimes. But as far as like some of the other deckers and whatnot... I don't know. I mean, Blackout's always good. It's a guaranteed stun. I mean, assuming it hits, of course. All right, so I think we're going to move and get that reload in. And I'm also half tempted to actually replace the Dock Wagon Platinum card with a gold card. Awesome. We got some armor here. Thank you very much. So anyways, about the dock wagon cards, I have a lot of hit points, but sometimes the people that I party up with do not. So like, for instance, if I used a dock wagon card on my tie here, it would be a waste because the platinum card, I think, does 35 hit points and the gold card does 25, I think. But with that being said, I mean, I also have oodles of cash. So buying platinum cards ain't no thing. Okay, I'm just going to end my turn right here. We're going to wait for Alex to take care of this thing. But actually, I take that back. We need to move up closer because we have enemies that come out of this door up here. That's right. I remember now. Can't get too frisky with Alex being in that machine. He does actually have the polymer coating armor, which is great, but I mean, it only lasts so long. And with a couple of enemies that are being pooped out of this door here, he goes down fairly quickly. And I think if I remember right, I believe there were a couple of enemies that actually spawned over here. I think there was like 1 or 2. I remember that like over here there were a group of 3. And sometimes you actually get the better luck of the draw too, because then you get the guys with the melee guys with the swords versus the one with the firearms. I'm going to try to move up as much as I can here. What I'd like to do is actually maybe, say, put myself behind these boxes or these crates. Or bins, if you prefer. I've already expressed my reluctance for saying that word when it comes to just generic vessels and containers. Even as much as a proud English gentleman I may be. There's some of those idiomatic expressions that I just don't subscribe to. Okay, we just need to move Alex over here to this console. I mean, realistically, you can move anybody over here. I think if you were going to put somebody over here, it definitely should be a decker because they get stuck here. And obviously with a decker's moves. Maybe we're just waiting to get everybody into position. Definitely a possibility. Okay, well, I'm good to go here. As a matter of fact, next turn, assuming that we don't get the weird infection thing that puts one of my skills on cooldown, will I even have access to Blast 2? Like I said, man, there's something really weird about the infection because it always seems to target Blast 2 or Bull Rush. I think there might have been one time where it actually affected Double Barrel, but I think that may have been actually pretty rare. Maybe Alex isn't the best candidate. Oop. Get out of here, damn it. I've had one cat that's just been really needy lately, driving me up a wall. But then again, I'm one of those like types of people out there that really like the cold. I like being cold, I do. And since I live in the deep south of the United States, it doesn't really get cold here, not the way I'm used to. So when the temperature drops, I don't turn on the heater. I just like being in my element. My little quadrupeds that are running around my house definitely like to give me shit about that. Okay, so where are the bad men coming from? Oh. The next mission brings us over here, right? Or is it this mission? Because this is looking like... Ah, yes, this was the mission where we went through the Stargate thing. Really surprised there's no enemies over here. Oh, okay. Well, then if nobody else has it... I mean, if you guys don't have... If the people that I'm teamed up with it, they don't have the achievement, then that's fine. I'm just saying that I don't personally need it. And if everybody else had it, then I was just going to say we could skip it. But if nobody else has it, then that's fine. That's fine. We will get it. So we got a guy over here with a gun. I'm going to hold my position. There's really not a whole hell of a lot I can do. I could potentially move up. But nah. Actually, I take that back. Let's start working our way up to the central chamber up here. Maybe I just misspoke. Maybe I think I miscommunicated that. I should have said, I vote that we don't do it, assuming that everybody has it or just doesn't care about it. That's probably the better way, the more diplomatic way to have expressed that. Whatever. Very smart to get rid of the man with the sword. Those guys can be pretty devastating. Nice, we got a crit there. I think I heard something over here. There we are. There we are. Okay, so we've got a summoner dude over here. Let's put her behind... Put ourselves behind at least some sort of semblance of cover. 36% chance to hit this guy. Sure, let's go for it. Not a big surprise there. So something seems a little askew. I had no physical armor before. And I understand that some of the mages in my party have casted armor on me. But once the armor spell goes away, so should my physical armor. I shouldn't have physical armor right now. There's got to be a bug. A very fortuitous bug. Although, who knows? Maybe I actually did something and accidentally did some exploit that I'm completely unaware of. I guess that's a possibility. I don't know. I mean, shit, I didn't know about the whole exploit with the, what was it, the rescue or the collectibles mission. And now I do. Which I plan to make use of, of course. I really wish Cliffhanger Productions would actually give us a set time. A set time and, whatchamacallit? Time zone. Time and time zone of when the servers are going to be going offline. Because I was reading a PC Gamer article earlier about the shutdown of the MMO WildStar. And apparently a whole bunch of people that played the game were on the game until the very last second. And I guess the developers actually even put in like a countdown timer in there saying 5 minutes until destruction or whatever. Which was a nice little addition, right? And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, wow, that would be really kind of special if we had something like that here in Shadowrun Chronicles. And I don't think we're going to ever get that, right? If we're being realistic with ourselves. But. All right, let's bull rush this guy. I would really like to actually just have it on camera the last few minutes of the game, you know, just have it go out with all of its glory. I think that would be pretty cool. And because I don't have any of the information about when everything is going to go offline, I'm like, I can't actually do anything about it. Like, I can't just live stream now until, you know, some presumable time within, I guess, the next 12 hours. I heard two different stories. At first it was supposed to be November 30th, but then they came back out and said it was supposed to be the 29th, like at the end of the 29th. So I'm guessing it's going to be later tonight, like say midnight. But like I was saying before, if these servers are based in UK time, it's going to be some different time, right? I mean, that makes sense. Not entirely convinced I have to do Savage Strike here, but I really want to go for the kill. And we are missing a couple hit points. So I guess we'll just go ahead and take this guy out. And get our hit points back. Wait, what? So for those of you guys that are watching my stream right now, that are in my party, there's this portal right over here. And you just have to put your character right there. They die and then you get the achievement. I don't know if everybody gets the achievement or if only you get the achievement. I don't remember. But when I went through, I know that I got the achievement and my character died. Which is fine. It's okay. Blamco Mac is just... He's a single serving, you know? He's like a box of Kraft macaroni and cheese. Only from the Fallout universe. So he's only got that one use. He's a one-trick pony. His one trick is to walk through a portal and die. So who do we have over here? We have Sean Sledge, who has a sword. Okay. I get the impression that Sean Sledge might just straight up be only melee. And there's nothing wrong with that, but when it comes to being swarmed with a lot of enemies, that's got to be pretty rough. Not having any AoE skills, I couldn't imagine doing it. Although it does sound like a pretty fun, difficult build to play. Okay, so Mai Tai is suppressed up here. Another interesting tidbit that I've learned over the past couple days is that the suppressors don't do anything to you. They're just annoying. They suppress you and then you can't move. And that's it. They don't do any damage. It's pretty much just the shockers and the spikes. So Izella here, I think the best course of action would be to get rid of this guy. Because you know he's either going to move and clone himself or he's going to move and shoot. Although we do have a decent amount of physical armor here, so I really wouldn't be worried about it. There we are. Okay, so we got rid of our flanking threat. Just need to get rid of all this nonsense up here, which is pretty much just these two guys. I don't think that there's another summoner troll over here. I think this is pretty much it. And I'm going to let my party decide on what they want to do. If they want to go through the portal and kill off their character for the achievement, then that's kind of on them. I'm going to leave Blamcomac out of it. Although, if memory serves also, again, I believe that once we actually activate the EMP device that the mission just ends. So that's why I say I'm not really going to move him or interact with anything here. I'm just going to let my party do it and decide. I feel like that's fair. Did you step through it? So here's the gate right here. Don't have complete line of sight on it, but we are getting closer. %0 chance to hit this man. All right, well, let's get under some cover. And, okay, so we got this guy marked over here, which is good. So the leader, the ex-Passis member or leader over here, has no tech armor. Pretty much a ripe candidate for some decking action. Or magic, of course. No magic armor means complete max damage, magical damage, right? Max magical damage. Talk about the redundant department of redundancy. I've been having that issue lately. With being redundant. I don't know why. $15. Oh, I really don't want to do this. I think I do extra damage to these things, though. Well, all right. Well, that's a guaranteed kill. Lots and lots of damage there. Otherwise, that mission just ends. All right, so what I'm going to do... Oh, we don't have Bull Rush. The infection. The infection screwed us here. Damn. Otherwise, I was going to suggest actually bull rushing the summoner over here. But that's no longer a possibility. Although I could launch a rocket launcher over here. Rocket launcher, you say? Well, yes. Yes, indeed. Although I did that little bass backwards, I probably should have headcrackered this thing first, the suppressor. But it's just a suppressor. You can just leave it alone. There we are. You get rid of the summoner, you get rid of all of his summons. Always makes the most amount of tactical sense to take them out first. Alright, like I said, I'm going to let my party decide on what they want to do. Besides, I'm not the party leader here. So I have a validation or a justification to not actually do anything. I'm guessing Sean Sledge probably had his one skill that allows him to slash multiple times. It was probably on cooldown. Most likely related to the infection. Not worth dying for? Well, that depends. Do you want the achievement? That's the only way you're going to get the achievement. It's just your character that dies. It's not like the whole party. It's not like we failed the mission. You just walk through it, your character, you get a little bit of dialogue, your character falls over, dies, and you get the achievement. That's it. And then the rest of the people, as long as you activate the EMP device, you're fine. I'm going to be under the assumption that we're going to be doing the rest of the infected stuff, which we're going to allow me to, as long as these people don't decide to do it. If we save Bozeman, then that'll be another achievement I can actually attain before the server shut down. Let's see here. We need 45. Which means I'm going to need to do at least 2 more missions before I acquire it. Bummer, dude. Could also just, like, you know, pump it in a blunt. And speaking of which, what is the next skill? We have Wrecker. Tin cans. Hateful, unnatural things. Destroying them makes you happy. 50% extra damage against all tech enemies. Okay. We have blunt force trauma. Armor keeps the insides in and the outsides out. Unless you crush it with a blunt object, turning everything inside to goo. 50% extra damage against enemies with physical armor. Oh my god. There's like a no contest type of thing right there. Why would you not do blunt force trauma? You'd be personally like just hampering your character by just doing that, by taking the other route. I mean, it's not like it's an unviable skill. It's just the other one's just amazing. There'd be no reason not to take it. As a matter of fact, it's so good that I'm kind of tempted, but I really want to finish out body. I think it's body. Yes, body. So we can get that one essence and do everything that I've been talking about and finally equip the new legs. I'm really excited about that. So then my character can actually start to perform like he's supposed to. Just waiting on Sean Sledge here. Yep. Wait, maybe I'm remembering wrong. Wasn't Bozeman before we went into the EMP device, or is that Bozeman's mission is after this one? Oh, it's after this one. That's right, because you do this, and then we got to escape through the park, right? Wasn't the resolution with Bozeman? My mind is so frazzled. I know it only happened like the other day because we just live streamed it. I just have so much other shit on my plate right now that I'm having a hard time focusing. This is like one of those times where I'm like, go up to my doctor and be like, dude, how about a bottle of Adderall? It's always a good decision. And as far as the enemies goes, we're basically just fighting the same guys. The one summoner that does the illusion, and then the big troll summoners that summon the little tech hexa whatever, the big blue floaty thingies. Okay, nice. We got a mark over here. You know, besides the actual damage and the disillusion of their tech armor, just having them marked is a really good boon for us. Oh, no way. These guys are going to summon the other ones, too. I didn't know that. I guess that begs the question about whether or not the trolls are able to do the illusion themselves. Since most of the enemies here are going to be, I guess, more technical, these things, I'm going to let my party take care of them first. Yes, I could do Blast 2. But if we get rid of this guy, if we can get rid of this man here who's marked, then these three little shits over here die. They go explodey. I can't reach. I mean, I can blow up one of these things, but yeah, our best interest is to take out the man. We got the crit. He's only got 12 hit points. The only way I'm going to be able to reach this guy is if I waste my rocket launcher, and that would be pretty wasteful. In my opinion, I think we should probably move Alex, put him behind some cover, and just do like a data spike. Be real quick and easy. Try to move him up as much as possible so you can get the better percentage. But then again, he is marked, this ex-Pessis Initiate. I'm waiting to see what they do with Alex. Because if they take him out, like I said, these things go away, and I don't have to worry about fighting them. There we are. There we go. Perfect. I mean, I really hate to be that guy that just, you know, sits around and waits for everybody else to basically pick up my own slack here, but hey, when you're out of range, you're out of range. There's not much you can do about it. So it just makes more tactical sense to let them move first, especially with all that decking support. I swear to God, man, the decking in this game is broken. It's just so good. And if you're now just joining me for my stream and just kind of wondering about why I didn't create my character to go decking, is because I've already played a couple characters that went decking. Like I said, like the main character that I originally went through the entire game with was a pistol crit build with decking. And I definitely found myself in a lot of missions using more decking skills than the actual pistol crit skills. Okay, so the name of the game here is to not let the janky AI pathing let you walk over the electrocuted water or electrocuted substance, whatever this stuff is. Okay, we got some enemies over here that are walking around. First of all, let's move Blamco Mac up. What we have to do here is work our way along this wall out to one of the exits over here and then come up to this console to turn off the electricity. And then a whole bunch of enemies will spawn over here and you wait for them to get into the liquid and then you turn that shit back on and you do that damage. Yeah, look at me like I'm just talking, like I know exactly what I'm talking about, right? When I was just in this mission the other day. Wasn't it like literally yesterday? Nice to see that we have it's an autopsy of some sort. For a second there, I'd be like, wouldn't it be incredible to have a little bit of humor in this game and have like the little alien thing from Spaceballs pop out of this character's chest here and just start wandering around? Like you don't interact with it. It just, you know, takes out its little top hat and cane and starts doing its little song and dance all throughout the mission. That would be great. That would be something truly epic. Oh yes. And you sit there and say, well, what the hell does Spaceballs have anything to do with Shadowrun? It doesn't at all. It'd just be funny. It'd be great. Speaking of Spaceballs, I've definitely had a hankering to rewatch that movie. It's like one of those timeless movies that you just have to rewatch every once in a while, just to get yourself reacquainted with all the awesomeness that was in that 90-minute piece of film greatness. Besides, Rick Moranis. It's Rick Moranis, man. Canada's one and only national treasure. Well, I should say number 2, because they technically have maple syrup. I know that that's a definite treasured commodity to our neighbors to the north. Remember watching a documentary about the very lucrative and sometimes shady dealings of the maple syrup market in Canada. Very interesting stuff. That never really had a big hankering for the whole maple syrup. Never been like a sweet tooth guy anyways. I have a very salty palate, not a sweet one. So when it comes to that sort of stuff, I tend to shy away from it. So what do we have here? We've got a security guy here with a firearm and another one over here. No magical armor. So they're rife to be targeted by our mages. However, like I've said and mentioned, their tech armor is a joke. Yep, this character is going to have to sit there. If you move this character over here, they're going to go through the electrocution. Yeah, see how they're taking all that awesome damage? So I'm going to walk right over here, and we're going to fucking headcracker this asshole. No, I said headcracker, damn it. Really just need to take out this guy right here. And then his illusions will die. There we go. And then a really good target for the last remaining Decker and or Mage. And there you have it. There goes all the enemies that are over here in this little nook. But we're going to have some more that pop out of this door over here. It's the second Ted Williams' bat that we've acquired in the last, like, 1.5 missions. That's definitely been a complaint of mine in this game, is that the treasure, the loot... I just wish there was a system in place that disallowed you to acquire multiple copies of the same cosmetic item, because having multiple copies does nothing. They just sit in your inventory with a number sitting next to it. That's it. And I always found it to be really, I don't know, deflating to acquire like the 5th copy of Ted Williams' bat. Like, what the fuck are you going to do with it? It just makes no sense. And even though I've mentioned it several times about, like, you know, what my hopes and aspirations are for this game if it goes to private servers, that I really hope that whoever, the developers, if they are still on board with this game, that they really go and do the extra distance, I think, a little bit, at least a little bit, for the sake of the community, and just really do some bug fixing here, and just some optimization would be really nice. All right, so I think we're gonna... Should I move up? I think I should. Although, to be fair, from the developer standpoint, I can understand that, you know, if they did move this game over to private servers and not decided to do any kind of like bug fixing or optimization or add things to the game, I can understand it from their perspective, because there are no more financial incentives for doing it. It would just be literally a labor of love. And I can understand that if you're a developer, like, you know, just looking to get paid because you want to pay your bills, for Christ's sake. I can understand if any one of them ever came out and just said, look, we just don't have the time to do it. In which case, if that was the scenario, that I really would hope that they would leave it in charge of maybe the community at large, especially like maybe a few people that could be trusted with the access to some of the game files. I am not a programmer, so I cannot be one of those people. Yep, so the infection has put our double barrel here on a 2-turn cooldown, much to my chagrin. All right, really want to go for the max distance here, but I'm going to wait for some of my other teammates here to move up a little bit more. Maybe do a little bit of fog busting. Because I'm a little kind of torn between either going on this corner here, or maybe... Okay, well, that kind of decided it for me, right? We'll just go for max movement. And there's our enemies. So if you move Alex over here to interact with the node, I would recommend actually moving him first, just straight up to this position, and then activating it. Because then if you activate it, the electricity will run through the liquid again, and all these fools over here are going to take a bunch of damage. Yeah. Although I get that sense of dread here that Alex might not be surviving this turn. Oh, God. He's only got 7 physical armor. Yeah, that's toast. That's a party wipe right there. Oh, well, maybe not. Is that it? Nope. All right, let's go back and get some payback here. Die. Managed to at least get them both. I just hate that skill. It's just so unpredictable. You just never know where the damage is going to go. It misses some people and it hits others. No, turn this thing back on. But somebody come over here and turn this thing back on. Because they're still going to have to walk through this shit. I'm not sure Azella here actually has enough movement to actually do it. But then again, you could sit there and say that if you moved over here and turned this thing on, the benefits from doing so versus the actual consequences of doing so are a little jilted. Because, I mean, if you moved over here and turned this thing back on, sure, these guys might take a little bit of damage, but you're also going to be in range of them, and they're going to take you down because we've got the melee dude over here with a sword. And I'm going to be under the presumption that they have the one skill that lets them hack and slash multiple times. I also have a dock wagon card, but I'm way out of position to use it. I have no more physical armor. Missing 1 hit point, which is okay because we have Savage Strike. That's really the reason why I took Savage Strike, because A, it's a lot of damage, and B, it's also a heal, and heals in this game are really rare. So if I move over here and do a head cracker, take that fool out. Right, that kind of leaves me in a predicament. So what do we have? We have a spike, a suppressor, and a suppressor. Okay. So if anything, we're going to only take the pistol damage from the troll up here, then we'll probably take a little bit of damage from the spike. But I do have a lot of hit points, so I should be okay to be able to withstand all that damage. And the suppressors are, yeah, we don't have to worry about them. The positioning of my character is just fine. Nice. It's funny because I see more people with swords in this game than I do blunt. Although I have seen a couple people throughout my entire gaming experience playing this game. I've seen a couple people actually dual wield one blunt and then one sword slash. What the hell? Blades. That's what it's called. And I know I've run across at least 2 different people since this game came out that actually dual-wielded swords, which is interesting. Believe it or not, dual-wielding the same weapon is really beneficial. I don't know if Cliffhanger actually ever nerfed that, but it used to be, assuming that it actually changed, is that if you dual-equipped the same weapon or the same class weapon, it basically allows you to double dip on the skills. So, for instance, if I equipped a second shotgun, I would have a double barrel skill for the first shotgun and then have a double barrel skill for the second shotgun, and you would be able to use the double barrel for the first shotgun, and then it would be on cooldown after you used it, and then the second shotgun, that double barrel skill would not be on cooldown and allow you to do it again. And you could see how that would be really devastating, especially if you have a mage that has haste, so you could just sit there and haste and double barrel. And obviously, if you have a class that does lots and lots of damage, you can imagine how something like that would be entirely beneficial for your character. But you really don't see that too often, or at least I haven't, where people dual wield the same weapon. I used to see it a lot more with when criticals were, well, they were a lot more bombastic back in 2015 before they got nerfed, before they put in the, was it the Lady Luck mechanic or whatever, where you start to have like complete diminishing returns with your crits. It's not really many diminishing returns. You get a diminished chance to hit with every successive critical hit that you did with a pistol. Because there are a couple of skills related to the pistols that, you know, if you scored a critical hit, a natural critical hit, it would give you another move. And obviously, if you've got a full clip and you have a very high chance to crit, you could see how just doing crit after crit after crit after crit after crit. Yeah, that's why they nerfed that. But when it was still actively being used, when it was still a viable route for your character, I have seen a couple of people dual equip pistols. All right, so I'm going to do a Savage Strike, because why not? Although, truth be told, I probably should have shot the spike. Don't know where the troll went to. Oh, there he is. Okay, so he is out of range. So maybe I misspoke. The suppressors are going to be a little bit of a problem because the troll moved. I was really hoping the troll would actually stay somewhere kind of close in the vicinity, so I still had a reasonable chance to hit him. But that's no longer the case. No other enemies. It looks like they took care of this homeboy over here, and we just have the Minuteman security unit. By the by, if you guys activated this console, he would be sitting in the electrocuted liquid, in which case he would take some damage. And if you were able to actually hack this node on your first action, you could activate it and then shoot him. Okay, so one of the deckers actually did a hammer on the spike. Really nice. %0 chance to hit, and I'm guessing I probably can't bull rush, right? Yeah, okay. I guess we'll just melee it. That's fine. Melee is always the way to go anyways, because we have pain resistance. Or technically, if you want to be pedantic, pain resist. But that activates it procs when you do your regular basic melee attack with blunt weapons. And as soon as this suppression actually wears off, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to face roll this guy. Do we have an AFK here? Hello? I noticed that Isla here has definitely like lagged a little bit. But then again, you never know who's actually operating the character. I've seen some really weird stuff in video games, man. Go play some sort of online competitive game out there where you have to rely on teaming up with the random people. And record, or at least try to do your best to remember your interactions with such people. And you see all kinds of just stupid shit that people do sometimes. Going into competitive matches and be like, dur, 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 it seems like a good time to go AFK. Not to say that any of the people in my current party are doing that, but I understand that like some people, I guess, take their video game campaigns a little more seriously than others. Oh, don't have an actual real chance to hit this guy. 10%. So we have a spike. Shocker. Ooh. So I think what I'll do, I'll do blast 2 here. Yeah, because I'm not able to hit the other guy. Or not. All right. Well, then I guess I'll get rid of the spike. Pretty sure the troll's skill to summon some more is on cooldown right now, in which case he's only got his little pistol, which isn't going to do anything for me, or to me, I should say. Time to die. I also don't remember where all the little treasure boxes and stuff were, because I don't believe we can go back in this room, unless, of course, this door opens up and we backtrack. I'm wondering if Savage Strike actually replenished some of my armor, because I was completely out of armor before, and now I'm sitting at 26. Something strange is going on here. It's got to be a bug, or I'm just misread Savage Strike this entire time. From the way I've read Savage Strike, was that it just replenishes your hit points, and we can't actually see what it does because it's on cooldown right now. I think what I'm going to do here is move up a little bit, and then I'm going to double barrel this guy. Because I'm fairly certain the rest of my team can actually take out this melee man here, and then we have the summoner over here. Obviously, you'd probably want to prioritize this man with magic, and then use decking skills to take out this other guy. Especially because Alex has Blackout. Hey there. Because Alex is pretty weak, I would actually use him last, unless, of course, you were trying to go for that strategic stun right away. Okay, so they did use Blackout, which is great, which means we could pretty much disregard this man for this turn. Just need to take care of the sword wielder down here. Ah, yes, that's right. This is that one mission that had the gas and all the valves and everything. That's right. I'd forgotten about that. There we are. All right, so I'm going to have to reload. So we're going to move one. Wasn't paying attention to the rest of my party's skills. Kind of get the impression that I might be the only one here with organ harvesting, which is okay. I'm just saying that in order to actually make sure that we get all of the loot from the individual maps, I'm going to have to probably be on organ harvesting duty, which is fine. There's no big deal. I suppose the next time we get out of this mission, I'll be able to inspect everybody and see what they have. You don't know how powerful some of these folks are. I don't know how in tune and well equipped my compatriots are here. Only because it seems to me that, like, if they didn't do the infected missions, they probably aren't going to be completely maxed out like some of the other people that I've been partying up with. Which means that they're a little bit more on par with Blamco Mac here. At least I think so. I get the impression, I think one of these people looks pretty supercharged. Oh, I wouldn't move Alex up. I wouldn't do it. We got enemies over here. Over here in this corner. I'm not sure if the poison gas cloud here, if that's an instant kill or if it just does damage. I think it just does damage, because I could have swore I remember there being an enemy that walked through one of these and just took I think like -6 damage or something like that. I think. So what do we have over here? We have a spike, and I think there's both a troll, and I think there might be two of the smaller human guys. So there's one of them. Hey, look at that. We get it on the first try. Excellent. I'm completely and utterly fed up with the fucking critical failures. They piss me off so much. It was hilarious, that last stream that we did of this game. We actually had a couple people that just straight up died from too many critical failures. That was funny. We were successful in the mission. It was the one with the bombs. We had to go through the gigantic parking lot and then go through the As Technology lobby area, and the bomb was like way back in like some laundry room. Yeah, that mission. That was fun. Seeing all my party members die, trying to be greedy. Although, to be fair, I guess I wouldn't really be technically being greedy, because you just never know what kind of chances you are of receiving a critical failure or success. I guess that would be one other thing in this game that that Cliffhanger could add, if they were to do like some optimization, bug fixing, that sort of stuff, is to put in like a percentage chance of what you may end up rolling on any given like treasure node. So if I come over here to the organ harvesting stuff, like maybe it gave me a percent, like, and I'm not just saying like a percentage chance of actually just the generic percentage chance. I mean like a percentage chance of, say, like maybe there's a 10% chance of a critical failure, a 5% chance of it just being a regular failure, maybe a 15% chance of a failure, but it gives you the plus 10% bonus to the next attempt. You know, something like that. Something that was a little bit more detailed and broken down. And maybe even actually have that tied into a piece of equipment that you actually had to equip in order to give you those percentages. That, like, something like that would be interesting. There's a lot of different things that I feel like Cliffhanger could do to really improve this game if they wanted to continue to improve this game. I know that there's like a lot of really weird red tape and kind of like litigation, I guess, involved with this, because you have to keep in mind that, you know, Shadowrun is a license. It's an intellectual property, and as far as like the inner workings about, you know, who owns what portion of the game, or who whether or not the license is going to be renewed, which I think I heard the developer said that it's not going to, and Microsoft has no interest whatsoever of picking up the game, or I guess renewing the license or whatever. So I don't really know what Cliffhanger could potentially do to this game that's beneficial for them, other than, like I said, a labor of love. And, you know, at the end of the day, a labor of love doesn't really pay your bills. And, you know, Cliffhanger's from what I've gathered, is a really small development studio. You know, they're definitely not the, let's not be hyperbolic, they're no like EA or Ubisoft or anything like that. We're talking about regular folks that just need to pay their bills and eat and support their families just like the rest of us. I think we should all be a little empathetic when it comes to the realistic, I guess, future of this game. Although I would suppose that it kind of begs the question about what's going to happen to Cliffhanger Productions once this game servers go away. I really don't know. I haven't heard any word yet. I haven't asked any of the developers, because I feel like this situation might still be kind of a thorn in their side to some extent. And, you know, I don't really want to be adding salt and lemon juice to a fresh wound. I'm going to come over here and touch this valve, because if I remember correctly, this one turned off something over here. Oh, no, it turned it on. Oh. My mistake. This valve over here actually turns this section on and off. Oops. That's right. This gets turned off, and then they come over here and I think touch this valve. Or maybe it's this one, and then we touch this one. I don't fucking remember. It's something like that. It's pretty easy. And I have given it a lot of thought about, like, my personality, I guess. The level of commentary or entertainment, as it were, that I provide when playing these games. And oh my god, I've never seen that before. So these guys, when they when they travel through the poisonous gas clouds, they just auto die. That's hilarious. Anyways, as I was saying, as far as like my own unique spin on it, because it's me, it's my personality, like I've been really giving it a lot of thought lately, and I feel like I really need to start practicing cleaning up my language a little bit and trying to be a little less cussy sweary, because the reason is that I know that it turns off some people out there. I know that there are going to be people that are probably really interested in watching my content, but are completely turned off, or it's a deal breaker to them if I use the language that I do in a lot of my streams and videos. I try to keep it to like kind of a minimum and not go overboard with it, but still, I know that my I've got a potty mouth. Oh yes, it's true, and that's the way I sound in just regular life. I mean, that's just the way I talk. I mean, the person that you see before you in this video is the same person that you would meet in person. Same affect, disposition, and everything. And it's like, I don't know, I'm starting to get to that point in time that I just feel like I'm not really trying to be completely eloquent or something within my streams, but I also don't want them to be completely bogged down with just filthy language for the sake of it. And not to say that I just sit there and cuss and swear just for the hell of it. It's more like, I've always felt like cussing and swearing were kind of like seasoning for dialogue. It definitely puts a greater emphasis on what you're trying to express sometimes. And I really, really believe that. So that's why I don't really have a problem with it. And besides, like, I understand that this is on YouTube and anybody can watch the videos that I publish, and, you know, there's going to be some kid out there that watches my video, and then, you know, when I'm using whatever, you know, expletive 4-letter word out there, and God forbid their parents, you know, get a wild hair up their ass about it, I don't want to deal with it. But even in those circumstances, I could just sit there and say, haha, free speech. This is YouTube, where you pretty much have carte blanche to do whatever you want to. I mean, within reason. And I don't want to be one of those guys. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to really get a good idea in my mind about the best course of action that I can improve upon my channel. And obviously, I really want to produce the best quality content and videos that I can for everybody out there. Because, I mean, if it looks like shit and I just do a terrible job, I mean, why would anybody want to watch that? So I'm just looking for ways in which I could, I guess, just be a little bit more successful. Okay, so we managed to kill the one. Really nice, too, because the thing was sitting right there. God, I cannot type. No, my fingers work fine. They're okay. Spirit fingers! I just get a little hasty, you know, in the moment, because I'm trying to live stream, you're trying to play the game, you're trying to give commentary, but then again, I'm also trying to communicate with my party here. So when I'm sitting there typing, I'm doing it really sloppy. Because I've got all these other things that you got to concentrate and pay attention to. And I believe this is going to be the final valve over here. Although I don't remember if we all have to be in an exit area, or it just has to be Alex. I think we all have to go. Which means I'm going to be walking through some gas clouds. Another summoner. Summoning more of these. What do you call these things? Matrix manifestations? It's the best that I've got. It's too bad these things are running through the poison gas clouds, not dying like that first one did. Okay. So I'm going to do a headcracker here, because it's a free move. I actually got the critical there. If I really, really wanted to, I could bull rush the summoner over here, but unfortunately, if I did so, I'm going to be taking some damage. And obviously, I'd prefer not to. And then we have the suppressor over here that I don't really have to worry about. That's a shocker. The Isla here moved, I suppose. Oh, it's on cooldown. That's right. The infection screws me over yet again. Nice. One summoner down. Let's rotate the camera here. That's the man that I need to get. Can I bull rush him? Oh, I totally can. Yes. We got a spike, a shocker, and a spike. And a suppressor. We're going to be taking quite a bit of damage over here. Or not. Saved by my party. Although, unfortunately, it looks like most of these other manifestations over here were indeed not summoned by the one troll. Yep. Okay, now I'm suppressed. Ouch. Just took a crit there. No, and there's so many more. I think these things just keep spawning. Please, open the door. Do this valve right here, and it takes away the gas, and then open the door. I don't think we can stay here any longer. So obviously, the thing to do here would be to do a Savage Strike. I would prefer to do it on the actual shocker itself instead of the spike, but the shocker is going to be in better range of my team, so I think we're going to do the spike. I would just move and shoot. But unfortunately, we're suppressed. Okay, so well, they've... Looks like they... I don't know what the hell happened. I don't think any of our people actually touched any of the valves, right? Unless I'm mistaken. I'm not going to complain. The moment I can actually move, I'm going to obviously move up here. Closer to Mai Tai. You know what I actually could go for right now? Maybe not a Mai Tai. It's been years since I've had one. It's been at least a good 4 years. It's been about 4 years, give or take, since I've last had a hot toddy. God, I love hot toddies. A really well-made hot toddy. All of those, like, not Christmassy drinks, but like winter cold drinks. It's actually a hot alcoholic beverage, but it's something that you would drink on a cold day. I'm not really a big fan of hot alcoholic drinks, but a hot toddy is definitely the exception there. Especially when it's perfectly made. Been a long time since I've had one. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, the liquor stores are still open. As far as the rest of the team here goes, I think the obvious thing to do would be to take out... I would take out these two here because they're the closest to Alex. If it were up to me, I would try to mitigate as much damage that Alex would take as possible. Yeah, these things look like they're just auto-spawning. And I'm pretty much screwed because I can't move. I'm suppressed. Well, we've got Blast 2. Let's make the best of it. So let's zoom in here. Let's rotate the camera. I can get 2 of these guys. Got the shocker, the suppressor, and what is this other thing? Another suppressor. Urgh. I would really prefer to get rid of the suppressors just so I can actually move next turn, presumably. Yeah, we got 3 of them right here in the shot. Okay. So there you go. Blast 2. The crazy amounts of damage it can do to one target, but not to the rest. Still take out the spikes first. You know, once Alex's armor goes away, he's kind of hard to keep alive because he's so squishy. What I need right now is like a data bomb or a white noise. One of the Decker's ladder AoE skills. Especially around maybe like this area here. I think this would be the best placement of such a skill, because that way you could hit the troll plus the 3 little manifestations. Moving Alex dangerously close to those spikes. No, don't target these guys. Target the ones that are closer to Alex. Believe me, these things are going to come in here and pop him. Especially if that suppressor has enough movement come over here and actually suppress Alex. But then again, they would be closer to the rest of my party. And therefore making it easier for them to be dealt with. All right, well, I have no more physical armor. Don't have Savage Strike. This is where the point in time where I'm going to use... I can I can just use Rocket Launcher on myself. Or I could do it on these guys. I'm going to wait for my party here before I decide on what I'm going to do with myself. Because I really don't want to use my Rocket Launcher when you know, potentially they could have some of the AoE Decker skills here, that in which case might actually take out these things. Okay. I think Sergeant Sledge isn't going to be able to make it down by me. I'm just going to do a rocket launcher on these guys. At least take out one of them. Oh, we got another move. Interesting. Shocker, suppressor, or a suppressor. Let's get rid of the shocker. Ouch. Yep. Time to die. Does it happen? We still have 2 spikes over here that are going to basically finish off my character. I'm toast. There's nothing else I can do here. What do we got here? Shocker, suppressor. No, don't move Alex closer. What are you doing? He's gonna die, and then we're gonna have to start this shit all over again. I guess I'll take out the shocker, the other one that was over here. These enemies are just going to keep spawning in. That was a critical failure. So we're in the predicament that we're in right now. It was all catalyzed by my one bull rush. I had just enough movement to do a successful bull rush on one of these troll summoners. It was pretty far away. And that made me get a little closer towards the rest of these guys. And that's how I ended up getting suppressed and bombarded. I'm going to get zapped next turn. I think the only reason why I'm not dead right now is because I've had the pain resist, which has helped me out. There are a lot of enemies around Alex. He may not survive. He has no more tech armor. And as far as his physical, so we're looking good on that front at least. He is missing a few hit points. And unfortunately, I'm going to die, so I'm not going to be able to go over there and use my Dock Wagon card on him. All right, well, I'm suppressed again. Still alive! I spoke too soon. It's all right. Alex dead? Question mark? I think he's dead next turn. These spikes are way too close. They're going to get up in there. They're going to shoot him. Unless, of course, somebody manages to... No! You moved him to... You moved him to the gas cloud. Oh, that's disappointing. You spend so much time on a mission like this and then you die. Oh, well. So let's take a look at the my teammate here. We got Mai Tai, who has organ harvesting and lockpick. Sean Sledge, who has demolish, only demolish, of course, because they don't have... Sean Sledge doesn't have whatever the other one is, minor body. Then you have decking, demolish, and lockpick. Okay. So it looks like I'm the only other person here that has organ harvesting. Mai Tai has left. Oh, and then Isla has closed the group. Bummer, dude. I guess this is a good enough opportunity to at least showcase what happens when the party leader leaves. If they left, and I think the way it works is if you're in the middle of a mission and the party leader leaves, I think the next person gets control of them as if they were like an AI character, I think, if I remember correctly. But if it's done elsewhere outside of the mission, then it just transports you back to whatever iteration of the town that you have. Got a lot of activity here in global chat. You want to know something? I have been streaming for straight up 2 hours right now without a break. So I think I'm going to take a quick like 5, maybe 10-minute breather. And then when I come back, we're going to find out what the haps on the craps is with this game and the rest of the community. Hopefully there are more people on. I'm guessing that Drayloth and Cirrus Rose, they're either on a mission or not in the end game themselves. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll be back in a few minutes after I take a quick break.
Mic on. Mic off.
All right, everybody, welcome back. I don't know what the hell is going on here, but for whatever reason, I'm just not being able to get any kind of sound from the game right now. So you're probably just listening to the sound of my voice and not the game. Like, I'm getting... Oh, oops. That's right. Hey there, webcam. Let's take off my cover here. Readjust you. So I think I'm going to end up having to call the stream here because I cannot, for the life of me, get audio from the game. And I'm really hoping that this entire stream that I've done for the past 2 hours has not been completely devoid of the music from the game and the sound effects and everything. But I'm looking at my recording software right now, and for some reason I'm getting nothing. And I've tried everything. I've rebooted the game, I rebooted the software, and still nothing. I just don't get it. I don't understand. I really don't see what the hell the problem is. So we've been streaming for about 2 hours, and my streams for the past like 2 weeks have been 2 hours. So I feel like, you know, at least I put in the work today that I have been in the past. And well, you know what? There are some people here in game. There aren't many. I figured there were going to be more. I know that there's going to be some people that just kind of filter in throughout the night. This person right here is, by the way, is decked out into the cosmetic stuff that you can get from doing blue and red. Pretty cool looking. But anyways, unfortunately, I don't know what the hell's going on here. It was working fine, and now it's not. Like, it looked like it was working earlier just fine, and I don't know what the fuck. Pisses me off, but that's it. I'm done. I put in a lot of time in this game, especially within the past, like, what, 2 months now, I think? Month and a half, 2 months, something like that. And we've got the entirety of the game pretty much done. I mean, with the exception of actually running through it with a second character to just show you the different branching, or not really branching, just different options. Like, for instance, if we didn't kill Bozeman or if we didn't kill Jane, I think they'd still be around here, in which case we'd be able to interact with them. But since we killed them, they're not here. And I don't feel like going through this game yet again. I've put in, like I said, a lot of hours in such a short span of time that I think I'm done. I've had my fill, and I really wanted to make sure that I got my fill before the game went completely offline. So I'm going to call it a stream here, and I'm going to try to find out what the hell is going on with my recording software and see if I can't actually get it to work to record in-game music. Don't know what happened. Technical errors of some kind. So otherwise, it's been fun. And to all the people that I've been playing with over the past 2 weeks, cheers. It's been great. I've had a lot of fun actually reconnecting with the game and the community here. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to play. So tomorrow morning, before I get on with the rest of my duties and the rest of the things that are on my schedule, I'm going to log into the game here, attempt to log into the game, and see if I cannot maybe get a little short 5-minute or 10-minute blurb vlog kind of thing. But if the game is completely offline, then there's nothing I can do, and then that's the true end. But if I hear any other word back about private servers or whatever else, then I guess I'll save that little video until that point. In which case, I guess if the game does go on private servers, what I'll do is I'll probably do maybe a short live stream of it just to kind of check in and follow up as a true epilogue to our series here. But otherwise, have a good night, good evening, everyone. It's been fun. And to Cliffhanger Productions, hey man, I really liked your game. I know I gave it a lot of criticism throughout the entirety of my campaign here, but I always feel myself being more critical with things that I really enjoy, because I guess if this game was just a steaming pile of horse shit that didn't work, then I wouldn't be playing it. I wouldn't be covering it. I really enjoyed it. I know that there was several issues, you know, throughout its lifespan with having to have server resets and rebalancing, and there definitely are quite a few bugs in the game. I mean, nothing really truly game breaking in my experience, except for when the map just goes completely dark. That'd be the only one. But otherwise, I've had fun. It was a very good Shadowrun experience, you know, outside of the harebrained schemes variety in terms of contemporaneous or modern day versions of Shadowrun video games. And I guess I'll just be looking forward. I'll keep my ear to the ground and try to find out as much information as I can about the future post November 30th, 2018. Anyways, I will see you guys relatively soon, probably next week, where I'm going to, I think, stream Guild Wars Eye of the North a little bit more often, especially with Christmas coming around, because we're going to have, was it the Festivus Day or whatever the hell they do during Christmas time. And then, of course, Grim Dawn. Really want to start streaming a little bit more of that. Definitely had a hankering to play that a lot more lately. So join me next week. I don't really have a time or a schedule yet. I think we're just going to have to play it by ear until I work things out. Like I was saying before in a previous stream, that I think I'm not going to be able to get a real rock solid stream schedule down for the other games, or just in general outside of this, until maybe after the holiday season. I feel like that's probably the more realistic route to go. But enough babbling. I'll see you guys next week, hopefully, for our streams of the above that I just discussed. Otherwise, I'll see you on the flip side for one of my non-live Let's Play campaign series on, say, XCOM 1 or Deus Ex, maybe some Crusader Kings 2 in the future, in the very near future. But otherwise, peace. Have a good one. Good night, everybody.